You know, our bodies are kind of like silent witnesses. They carry secrets in our cells, they carry stories in our scars, and get this, undeniable truths at our very fingertips. So today, we're going to dive in and decode the language of the human body and find out how it speaks in the halls of justice.
I mean, you've seen it a million times in movies and TV shows, right? The detective finds a single fingerprint and bam, case closed. But how does that actually work? We're going to explore exactly how something as tiny as the ridge on your finger or even the date you were born can become the most powerful piece of evidence in a legal case.
Because really, from the moment we exist, our bodies start collecting data. It's this living, breathing record of who we are, where we've been, and what we've done. And in the world of forensics, trust me, every single detail matters.
Okay, so how do we translate this physical story into something a court can actually understand? Well, it all starts with paperwork. But this isn't your average, boring filing. This is the official paper trail that turns observations about a body into cold, hard, legal fact.
And this slide highlights a really crucial difference. On one hand, you've got a regular medical certificate. You know, the kind of note a doctor gives you to get out of work. But on the other hand, you have the medical legal report. Now, this document is a whole different beast. It's prepared specifically by order of the police or a magistrate. It's built for the courtroom. And here's the kicker. It's not even enough on its own. The doctor who wrote it has to show up in court and testify for it to become actual evidence.
So let's break that report down, because it has a very specific four-part structure. First up, you have the preamble. This just sets the scene. Who was examined, when, where, all that stuff. Then part two is reasoning. This is just the facts, the objective observations. No opinions here. That comes next in part three, the opinion. This is where the expert connects the dots and offers their inference based on those facts. And finally, the conclusion, which is sealed with the doctor's signature and official stamp. It's a really clear, logical path from fact to expert opinion.
Now let's talk about another critical piece of evidence that would be in that report, something we all have, our age. You see, in the eyes of the law, your age is so much more than just a number. It's a series of lines in the sand that define your rights, your responsibilities, and even whether you can be blamed for a crime.
This timeline is pretty wild. It shows you just how early our legal status actually begins. At only 7 days, a fertilized ovum is legally an embryo. Fast forward to 8 weeks, it's now legally termed a fetus. By 7 months, it's considered a viable child, which means it could survive outside the womb. And then, of course, the big one, 18 years old. That's when you reach the age of majority, and suddenly you can vote, own property, and make a will. Every single one of these stages carries huge legal weight.
And this is where it gets super specific. Just look at these legal boundaries set by age in India. If you're below 7 years old, you are legally incapable of committing any crime. Period. Below 14, you can't be employed in a hazardous factory. And for medical stuff, if you're under 12, your parents have to give consent for you. These aren't suggestions. They are hard legal lines drawn by nothing more than a person's age.
All right, let's get to the most iconic piece of bodily evidence there is, the fingerprint. This isn't just some random pattern. It's a signature that you've had your entire life, and it is uniquely 100% yours.
I mean, this quote from the FBI really says it all. You can change your hair color, scars can fade, but your fingerprints, they stay constant. They are an absolutely infallible way to identify a person, which is exactly why they're such a powerful tool for law enforcement all over the world.
But here's something you might not know. While every single print is unique, the general patterns they form fall into just a few main categories. As you can see here, the vast majority of people, we're talking 65%, have a loop pattern. Whorls are next at about 25%, and then you have the much rarer arch at only 7%. Pretty interesting, right?
So, let's quickly look at these patterns. We'll start with the rarest one, the arch. Think of it like a little wave. The ridges flow in from one side, they rise up a bit in the middle, and then flow right out the other side. It's simple, elegant, and like we said, found in only about 7% of people.
Next up, we've got the most common pattern by a landslide, the loop. The key feature to look for here is that the ridges enter and then exit on the same side of the finger, creating that looping shape. Go ahead, check your own fingers. I bet you'll find at least a few of these.
And finally, there's the whorl.
This pattern is defined by its circular or spiral ridges. It looks like a tiny whirlpool on your fingertip. It's the second most common pattern and really easy to spot once you know what you're looking for. So these three patterns, arch, loop, and whorl, they're the foundation of all fingerprint identification.
Okay, so from the signature we're born with, let's talk about the ones we choose to put on ourselves. Tattoos have been around forever, but in the world of forensics, they're a modern-day goldmine of incredibly valuable information.
I mean, a tattoo can speak volumes. It can literally spell out a person's name, or hint at their nationality, their job, or even their religious beliefs. The choice of the design itself can sometimes offer a glimpse into a person's state of mind. And sometimes, if it looks like a tattoo has been altered or removed, that can be a red flag for a criminal background.
But tattoos can also be a different kind of forensic evidence, a medical one. The process itself has risks that can leave clues for an examiner. Things like skin infections, or even more serious stuff like hepatitis B, tetanus, and HIV, can be contracted if the equipment isn't sterile. The body's reaction to the ink, like forming scars or having an allergic reaction, also tells part of the story.
And check this out from a medical legal perspective. An investigator might see a tattoo not just as art, but as a potential map. It's known that intravenous drug users sometimes use really intricate tattoo designs to deliberately hide their injection sites, turning what looks like a personal expression into a method of concealment.
So we've got the formal reports, the legal meaning of age, the unchanging fingerprint, and the chosen tattoo. But none of these things exist in a vacuum. The real skill for an investigator is putting all of these pieces together.
At the end of the day, the body provides the clues, and each one adds another layer to the story. An investigator has to piece together the official medical opinion, the person's legal status based on their age, and the physical identifiers on their skin, both the ones they were born with and the ones they chose, to build a complete, fact-based narrative. This whole process is a powerful reminder that every single one of us carries our own history with us, literally written into our biology. It's a story just waiting to be read. So it kind of leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Your body tells a story. What clues does it hold?